We're a little bit early today, but it's just because I need to check and make sure everything's functional, that the camera's aligned. Last time I recorded, we were a little off center. So give me just a few moments to go look at another screen, make sure that you guys are ready. Hopefully you can see I have a whole bunch of props. We're not necessarily going to need all of those today, but we will be going over them. If you are watching this on replay, just go ahead and skip until you see me seated on my mat. Good enough. All right, so welcome. Thank you for joining me today. Hopefully you guys are ready to move. And hopefully some of you were with me last week. As always, I suggest taking your towel and rolling it up, creating a little pelvic kickstand. And once you have your hips supported so that they don't rock back, even if you were to lean back a little bit, your hips are supported, but your sits bones are on the earth. Just begin to get comfortable. You can sit with your legs simply cross-legged in any manner you like, or if you prefer, you need them extended, sit however is comfortable. And I'll talk about props briefly. I love integrating props into my practice. And I understand that viewers at home, it's not necessarily available to you. That's okay. If it is available to you, I highly recommend buying your own set of props. Blocks, a strap. This one's actually a little short for most people, 6 to 8 feet. I think this one's 6. 8 or 10 is really the ideal size. We're not going to need this today. We're not going to need the blocks today. They're optional. What we are going to use today, though, so if you don't have something handy, maybe we'll get up off of our seat and go get that, is either a wash rag, a tennis ball, or stress ball, any kind of small ball you can find, or ideally something like this. This is a vibrating massage ball that I picked up at Walmart for less than $10, and it's fantastic. It's a little bit hard, the knobbiness is maybe a little bit much if you're sensitive. Tennis ball has more give, but the vibration is nice, helps really get deep into the muscles. We're gonna do a little bit of rolling today, and if you don't have any of these props, we can use our hands. We can put some weight into our knuckles and get it done. In the meantime, hopefully you guys have gathered what props you do have, and you're ready to begin. So start by sitting nice and tall. Adjust your seat until you're comfortable. Let your eyes close. And just allow the body to relax. If you feel like you're rooting your sits bones into the earth, or sitting super tall, allow those sensations to dissipate. Let all of that muscular energy relax. And if we round forward a little bit it today, as long as it doesn't obstruct your breathing. It's okay. And if that doesn't work for you, you can always place your hands on the earth behind you and lean back so that your shoulders just naturally fall away from the front line of your body. Or if you need to, you can go to a wall, sit with your back up against a wall. Anywhere you need to be, that your body can be relaxed. And as you begin to settle, think back. And if you were with me last week, remember that thing for which you were grateful. And if you weren't here for that practice, just find something to be grateful for today. And hold it in your heart. And if you were here last week, begin to examine it. Has your gratitude grown, blossomed? Did you water it? Did you give it to the sun? Did you nourish it over the past week? Love is a performance-enhancing drug. So look upon that thing with love. Nourish it. Let it grow. Begin to turn that love back towards yourself. Feel it surround you. Feel it in your bones, in your skin. Infusing every part of your being. Until at the very center of yourself, love meets itself. At the core of your essence. Begin to deepen your breath. Allow your lungs to fill with air. Maybe simply find gratitude for that. So many of us right now struggle for air. Extend the crown of your head up. Lengthen the spine, top of your head rising, tailbone rooting to the earth. And on the exhale, turn your gaze over your left shoulder. Draw both shoulders back and away from the front line of the body. But don't hug them together. Don't compress the backside of your body. Just allow them to be free on your back. Let your heart shine forward. Inhale to the center. Exhale, gaze over the right shoulder. Keep lengthening up from the tailbone to the top of the head. Inhale to center, sweep your arms out to the side and up over your head. Reach for the sky as you reach with the tips of your fingers. Begin to shorten the distance between your pubic bone and your sternum, creating a little tone in your belly and rooting your sit bones more firmly into the earth. This time, do draw your shoulder blades together on your back and reach. Arms to a T. Take the left arm over the right as you give yourself a hug. Just slowly turn from left to right, back and forth. A few breaths here, noticing do your hips roll with you as you turn, or do they stay rooted to the earth? It does not matter how your body moves, it's how it's moving right now. Don't worry about a right or a wrong. We'll work on alignments and everything later. For now, simply hug yourself and turn left to right. Come back to center. Open the arms and hug yourself right over left. And turn from right to left. Warming up the spine. You're going to turn side to side a lot today. Good deal of spinal rotation. Inhale, arms to the side and overhead. Exhale, hands to the heart, left hand over right. Release your hands to the earth, switch the crossing of your legs, and come off of your propped up hip or hip props. Find yourself a comfortable seat. And this time we'll have to actively keep the hips moving forward to stay lifted. Don't let your hips roll back. The temptation is to roll back on your sit bones and onto your tailbone here and to hunch, lift up, heart expanding and moving towards the front of your mat, head lifting to the sky, hips lightly moving forward. Reach your right hand to the sky, and on an exhale, sweep it behind you. Reach for the wall behind you. Don't place it on the earth yet, and don't push with that left hand. Just rest it on the knee and open that right hand. Check your hips. Have they moved? Are they pushing against this movement? Just experience what they're doing. Maybe you can turn your gaze to look at your right thumb and then lower the right hand to the earth. Sweep the left hand to the sky and begin to lean into the right hand. As you push through the fingertips of the right hand, lift that left hand higher. Gaze over the right shoulder and lower the left hand to the right thigh. Crown of the head lifts up, and instead of pulling with the hand, press that right thigh into the left palm. Just press the knees away from one another and see if you can centrate your hips. Both hip pointers facing the front of your mat as your shoulders gently turn to your right. Sweep the left hand up, right hand up as you return forward. Switch the crossing of your legs. And once again, place that left hand on the right thigh, left hand reaches for the sky, and spin to the left as that left hand reaches for the wall behind you. Check in with your hips. Just know where they're going. And that right hand is just loose. loosely resting. Gaze can be back at the thumb of the left hand. Slowly lower the left hand to the earth. Prom the fingers in and reach that right hand up to the sky. Lower it down to the thigh. Press the left hand or left palm into the left thigh into the right palm. Shoulders gently turn, rotating open. And the entire time your head is lifted. The spine stays long. We're not hunching forward to find motion. Shoulders are drawing back. Head of the arms are moving back. The shoulders are externally rotated on that left arm. Inhale, both arms up as you reach. Turn towards the center. Lower the palms to the knees. And simply take 3 deep breaths in through the nose and softly out through the mouth. So for our rolling portion, options exist. If you have a ball, fantastic, use whatever ball you have. If you have a wash rag, you can wad it up into a little ball. Compress it pretty good. And this is not going to apply much pressure, but it's available. And we're gonna place this wash rag or ball on the outer edge of our glutes. So we have that giant glute max in the back, and if you run your hand along the side, there's a little bit of a turning back right along that outer edge is where you want to lean in. And if you don't have a wash rag or a ball, you can make a little fist. And instead of turning your fingers back towards your palms, that's not going to work, especially if you have long fingernails. Point your fingers back down towards your elbow and simply roll into the knuckle. And depending on what you've done with your hands, this may not feel real comfortable for them, so you don't have to lean a lot of weight. Just rock over onto that knuckle or towel or ball. Just get a little bit of compression. And if you do have a ball, you can rock front to back. Difficult to do with a hand or a towel. The towel will begin to come apart and you'll lose some of that compression. Another option, I didn't think of it at the time when I was setting up today, is a can of green beans or whatever you have in your closet. A can would be fantastic. You can roll very easily over a can. And just get all the way up and down, all the way to the spot where your bottom meets your thigh, to the top, but stay off of the bone of the hip. Just stay in the muscle. And when you're ready, we'll move over to the other side. Just start by making your fist or placing your tennis ball and rock that left hip onto your place of compression. For some of us, this is going to feel fantastic. For some of us, it'll feel very sticky. A lot of soreness develops there, especially if we're holding tension. We're sitting a lot these days, many of us. Some of us sat a lot before. I've been guilty of that. And once you've got both sides nice and even, set your props aside. And come around to hands and knees. find your wrist under your shoulders and your knees just a little bit behind your hips. Not super far, we're not coming into a kneeling plank. We're still in tabletop, but just with a little bit of extra length. And check in. See that your hands aren't way in front of your shoulders or behind. Try to get them just underneath, and it won't be perfect. Few things in life are. Grip the earth and find some cat-cow, any variation you like. Let the spine move up to the sky and down towards the earth. And every time you come into cow, as you look forward, let your heart expand and move to the front of your mat. Maybe you can plant and nourish and massage that seed of gratitude as you come through these cat-cows. If you'd like some additional movement, you can take some spinal jump ropes, moving your ribs and spine to the side and up and back through, or barrel roll, some people call this. Whatever it is you like, move the spine. And then come back to a neutral position. Sweep your left arm out to the side and reach it up for the sky, just like we did in seated earlier. It's the same position, except this time we're pressing out through the fingertips of the right hand. Sweep the left arm beneath you. Back of your left palm finds the earth. Just behind the wrist, back of the left hand, palm is up. And lower your forearm to the mat. So we're gonna come into a little bit of a off-centered expression of our all fours pose. Step your right foot back on the earth for a little calf stretch and push the heel back. You'll feel that right hip rise up. Press the back of the left hand into the earth. Pivot that right heel down to the mat and sweep the left arm to the sky for a little twist. And reach up with that top hand as you press the bottom hand into the earth. Sweep that right hand forward, reach for the front of the room, and if it's available, lift that back leg up behind the hip. We're reaching forward with that right hand and pushing back with the right foot. Lower the hand where it came from, lower the foot, and return the knee to the earth as you turn your torso down. Re-extend that left arm to the sky and sweep it under for thread the needle, coming down onto the shoulder. And again, you can lift that back knee and roll a little bit more, coming up to the hips of your toes. Or if you prefer, you can lift that right heel off of right foot off of the earth, pushing back through the heel to find a little length through the side body. Lower the foot, lower the knee, left arm sweeps to the sky, and back to your tabletop position. Second side. Wrist under shoulders, knees just behind the hips. Right arm sweeps up to the sky and reach. Turn to look at that right thumb if it's available. Externally rotate the left shoulder. Right hand sweeps down to the earth. Back of the hand finding the space just behind the left wrist. Right forearm to the mat. And sweep that left arm to the sky as you step the left foot back. Left heel pivots to the earth and reach up through the left hand. Right forearm stays to the mat. If it's available to you, the left leg lifts from the earth, or left hand reaches for the front of the room. Push out through the heel, reach through the tips of the fingers, arm to the sky, foot to the earth. Turn the torso down as you lower the back knee. Left wrist is held in that right hand. Sweep the right hand to the sky and thread the needle. Come all the way down to that right shoulder if it's available. You can lift the back foot. You can take it up. You can open your hip to the side. Whatever works for you, roll your torso to the earth as you lower the knee and sweep that right arm to the sky. Both hands to the earth. Right foot back, little calf stretch. And then knee to nose, spine rounding up to cat. Sweep that right knee out to the side. Extend the right leg out. Press strong into the right palm as you extend the left arm to the side, awkward airplane. And just see what your hips are doing. Can you find a position where your hips are facing the earth? Push through the tips of the fingers as you press the heel away and sweep the hand forward, heel back, spinal balance. Spine long, top of the head extends forward. Knee to nose, elbow to knee, spinal balance. Lower the hand, knee to nose, and step it through. And walk that left or right foot forward, letting the left hip lower. If you have blocks here, you can use blocks if you need to, or you can come up to your thigh for coach leg. Let the hips move forward. And then fold to the earth. Press the fingers into the mat to find a little lift for your torso. Let the torso disconnect from the thigh just a little bit. And then hug the thigh back into the chest as you bend the knee and return to your tabletop hands and knees position. Left foot steps back. Push through the heel for a little calf stretch. And then draw the knee into the chest, spine rounds to cat. Left hip opens to the side and extend the left leg. Right arm sweeps out, reaching for the right side of your mat. Push through the heels. Get as much space as you can from between the heel and the tips of the right fingers. Try not to let the hips dip. Try to keep the toes pointed towards the front of your mat. Heel sweeps back, toes to the earth, point towards the earth. Right hand reaches forward, spinal balance. Get long. See if you can find a stretch across your body from the left heel to the right fingertips. Knee to nose, elbow to knee. Spine rounds up, cat back. Extend it out. Lower the hand, knee to nose, and step it through. Walk the body forward so the knee will come past the ankle on that left foot. It's okay. Blocks if you have them and need them. Coach leg if you prefer. Just let that back hip stretch. Get a good opening for that right quadriceps, hip flexors, all those fun things in there that we're going to put to work in a little bit. All right. Lower the hands to the earth, freighten the foot with the hands. Press into the earth or to the blocks such that your torso is not laying on your thigh. Lessen the weight and then draw that left thigh into the chest. Bend the knee and come back to tabletop. Curl your toes under. Walk your hands to your knees as you come up. Toes curled under so to see if you need to adjust. and just sit back on your heels. All right, come upright. So we're in a kneeling position. We're gonna untuck the toes on that right foot. Keep your hands either at your heart, or you can extend them out or reach them overhead, whatever you need to do to feel balanced. Press in to the front of the right shin and the top of the right foot as you shift your weight over to the side. Draw the left knee into the chest and step it forward. Lean out over the left leg, curl the toes under and back, lift the hamstring of the right leg to the sky, arms sweep to the side and up, high lunge. Hands to the heart and Anjali Mudra. Step to the front of your mat, Samastiti. All right. Inhale the arms overhead, exhale, fold. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, fold. Plant the hands, bend the knees, step to plank, and pause. Check in with your shoulders. Are they hunched together? Are they pressing way apart? Find a middle ground. Hands grip the earth, and if your belly's sagging, lift the belly. Make the belly tone. Draw the navel, the belly button, up towards the spine. Hug it in. Shorten the distance between the pubic bone and the sternum. Find some tone. And as you do so, check in with your feet. Maybe you need to walk the toes back so that the toes are directly under the heels. Inner thighs spin up to the sky. Downward facing dog. Inhale, plank. Exhale, lower your knees, and just walk your hands back towards your knees as you come on up. Toes are curled under. Couple of breaths here. Come back to kneeling. This time the left toes untuck, top of the foot presses into the earth. And really press in. You'll feel your quads turn on when you know that you're pressing in. Keep the front of your left shin moving towards the earth, top of the foot pressing down. Hands can be at the heart, by the side, T, overhead. Prayer position, just stay balanced. Shift your weight more into that left leg. Draw the right knee to the chest and step it forward. Curl the toes under on the left foot and lift the left hamstring to the sky. Arms sweep out and up, high lunge. And let your hips settle. See if you can get that front leg parallel to the earth such that your knee is over your ankle. Back hamstring is lifted. And if you're leaning forward in the pelvis, just draw your tailbone down towards the earth. For a lot of us, that's gonna bend that back knee. So once the tailbone is down, lift the hamstring and push out through the heel of that left foot. Right heel reaches down. Inhale up. Hands to the heart as you step to the front of your mat. Inhale up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, fold. Plant the hands. Step or float back, plank. Downward facing dog. And begin to pedal your dog here. Bend one knee, bend the other. Just softly shifting from side to side. Come to stillness in your dog. Lift your hips to the sky. Grip with the fingers. Externally rotate the arms.
And see if you can turn the hips one way and the other and get some movement in the spine here. Don't let your shoulders change their orientation though. Keep the shoulders actively moving away from one another. Space between the thumb and the forefinger moving to the front of the mat. Pinky edge of the hand pushing towards the heels. Fingertips grip. But if you need to move up and down into a wave shape, find what works. Just get some kind of movement in the spine. And then walk your hands back to your heels. Forward fold. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, fold, root down, and rise to standing, Urdhva Hastasana. Hands to the heart and Anjali Mudra. Check in, see that your feet are roughly hip distance apart. And see how the balance is for your feet, where you are putting most of your weight. Are you rolling your feet out and putting weight into the outer foot, into the big toe, the heels? There's ideal locations, but for now, simply be aware. If you need to close your eyes, you can close your eyes and send your awareness to your feet. Maybe tapping the toes on the earth, or tapping the whole foot down just to bring sensation there so that you can more easily draw awareness there. Now, see if you can find an even distribution of your weight. Just as much weight in the big toe mound as the outer edge of the foot. Heel begins to actively press down as the crown of the head lifts. Sweep the arms out and up. Exhale, fold to the earth. Walk your hands forward, coming into plank. Pause in your plank for one solid breath. And then walk your hands back towards your heels. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana, head lengthening towards the front of your mat. Exhale, fold twice more. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold. Solid planting of the feet as you rise to standing. Hands into Anjali Mudra and pause. Begin to lift your tailbone up. And with the tailbone lifting, so we're not hunching forward, we're not sending our belly forward, we're just lifting the tailbone. So the inner thighs are going to slightly rotate back as we do this. Push all four corners of the feet down to the mat evenly. Shoulders back. And for now, keep your hands together at your heart. Keep lifting the tailbone, keep rooting the heels down, and fold halfway tabletop. Different than Ardha Uttanasana. So try to stay parallel to the earth. I may not be, that's okay. All of us will express this differently, but there's a slight back bend here. If you notice, my tailbone is lifting, my shoulders are moving away from one another and up. Crown of the head moves to the front of the room. If it's comfortable and available to you, sweep your arms out to the side and reach for the front of your mat. Tailbone continues to rise, heels continue to root. Crown of the head reaches way forward as you inhale and rise. Hands to the heart and Anjali Mudra. 2 more times. Inhale up. Reach for the sky. Tailbone lifts. Find that small back bend. And fold. Tabletop. Fingers reach forward. Shoulders move apart. Tailbone lifts. Heels root. Inhale up. Hands to the heart. And keep moving. Out and up, tailbone up, feet planted. Exhale to fold, reach for the earth, and then slowly fold to your mat. Hands stay connected to the earth here. So if you need to bend the knees, bend the knees. And just notice the difference now between that tabletop position and Ardha Uttanasana. Lengthen your spine, head reaches forward, hands stay connected. Find room in the rib cage to breathe. Inhaling through Ardha, exhaling to fold. And as you find this movement, see if you can transfer a little bit more weight into your hands each time. Grip with the earth, keep the weight off of the wrist, and as you lengthen, shift weight into your fingertips and lift your heels. Slowly lower. Inhale, Ardha, coming up to the tippy toes, weight in the fingertips, shoulders actively pressing apart, and then lowering the heels with each exhale. Walk the hands to the front of the mat, shifting the body to plank. Inhale, downward facing dog. Couple of breaths here. Use this as your resting pose today. Let the calves re-stretch and push the heels to the earth. Lift the tailbone up. Find a little bit of a bend in the low back as the belly moves towards the knees and the hips lift to the sky. Inhale, right leg up, three-legged dog. Knee to nose as you shift to plank. Tap it to the earth and then step to plank. Downward facing dog. Inhale, left leg up, three-legged dog. Knee to nose as you shift towards plank. Tap the knee between the thumbs. Hug it back up, three-legged dog. Oh. Inhale forward, knee to nose, tap it between the thumbs, step to plank. Downward facing dog, and we'll even it out. Inhale, right leg up, knee to nose, tap it between the thumbs, three-legged dog, downward facing dog. And then walk to the front of your mat, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Root the heels into the earth. Extend the crown of the head away from the hips. Lift your tailbone to the sky. Sweep the arms in front of you as you lift to tabletop. And if that's too much, take the hands to the heart. It'll take a lot of that load off the low back. Inhale all the way up. Hands to the heart. Couple of breaths here. And we'll step right foot behind left, and then back again. Just getting a little bit further back on the mat. Inhale up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, Ardha. Exhale, fold. Now, cut back, Lengthen out through the crown of the head. Press the fingertips into the earth. And this is a good place for blocks if you have them. A lot of us are going to prefer the blocks. They're not strictly necessary though. If you have to bend the knees to make this happen, bend the knees. Sweep the right leg back behind the hip and lengthen. Heel to the tip of your head. Sweep the left arm to the front of the mat. Spinal balance from standing. Knee to nose, elbow to knee, and step your right foot just ahead of your left. So they'll still be side to side. They're not on rails. They're just a little bit more narrow than the hips. Maybe if you need to, you can step them so that they're hip distance apart. but keep the right foot just in front of the left and begin to push through the big toe mounds of each foot. Lengthen the head away, tailbone to the sky, and lift the torso away from the earth, coming to tabletop in a very shortened variation of pyramid. And so check in with your hips. See if you can get your hips level here. It's very easy to rotate that left hip forward, but point both hip pointers to the earth. Keep pushing through the big toe mounds to lengthen the head away from the hips. And again, the hands can stay at the heart. They can reach forward. If reverse prayer is an option for you, that's also an option. Just keep the shoulders moving up as you rise. Step the right foot back in line with the left. Sweep the arms overhead. And on the exhale, fold. Check in with the feet. See that they're at your appropriate distance. As you inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold. Press into the fingertips as you sweep the left foot back behind you. Crown of the head reaches forward. And check in with the hips here. See that you're not opening your hips up to the left. Keep both hip pointers facing the earth. As you sweep that right hand forward, spinal balance. Knee to nose, elbow to knee, spine to cat. Left foot comes down just in front of the right. Lower the hands and find your positioning. See that your feet are a comfortable distance apart, maybe a block's distance, whatever it is for your body. Lengthen through the spine. Push into the big toe mounds, tailbones lift. The torso rises, it floats from the earth. Crown of the head forward. Big toes press in, hips are adjusted to be as flat as possible across the backside. For most of us, that's pulling the left hip back and slightly rolling the right hip down. Keep pushing the big toes into the earth. The feet are going to be pressing slightly away from one another. And again, hand position is optional. Prayer, reverse prayer, forward. Wherever you are, rise. Inhale up. Hands to the heart. And fold. Step the feet together. Walk the feet a little further apart. And lower the hips, coming into a little Malasana squat here. And just allow the hips to settle down. Don't worry about pressing in, squeezing back. Just let the body weight put just a little stretch for your hips. Push through the heels as you rise. Hands to the heart. All right. Come back to that same position you were in so that you're not all the way up at the top of your mat. You're a little ways back. Feet root, arms rise. Exhale, fold to the earth. Inhale, Ardha. Exhale, fold. Plant the hands, but come up to the tips of your fingers. So get the palms off of the earth. We're not putting weight in just quite yet. Prong the fingers into the earth and lengthen the head away from the hips. Come all the way up to your tippy toes. You shift weight into the tips of your fingers. Sweep the right leg back behind you. Stay on the tippy toes of that left foot. Yogi foot, toes point towards the earth, not towards the wall behind you. Hips are square to the mat, head extends forward, and then slowly lower the left heel to the earth. Keep pushing out through that back heel as you lower for an extended pyramid pose. Head pushes to the front of the room. Big toes press in. left hip draws back, right hip draws forward. Try to level it out. We're gonna stay connected to the earth here. If you need to bend into that front knee to make it happen, bend in. And then shift back and forth. Rock the body forward, finding a gentle stretch in that left hip, finding a little work for the right hamstring, or right calf, right quad. Bend that left knee, high lunge. Reach for the sky and sweep that left hand for the wall behind you. Reach the right hand forward. Gaze out over the right thumb. So there's a turning with the neck towards the front of the mat. And reversing here. Right hand to the sky, left hand to the earth. Maybe you can take the left hand to the outside of the right thigh as you reach for the ceiling. Try to keep your legs parallel to the earth as you lift. And if you need to, you can use that left hand to lift that right hamstring. Both hands find the earth. Step the feet together and fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Feet hip distance apart and parallel. Come up to your fingertips. Head lengthens away from the hips as you come up to your tippy toes. Weight moves into the tips of the fingers here. Press the earth away. Head lengthens away from the hips as you sweep that left foot back behind you. Now, slowly lower that right heel to the earth. Shift your weight back. Keep that left leg long. And if you have to walk the hands back, you can walk the hands back as you lower that left foot to the earth for an extended pyramid. Push out through both legs. Big toe mound of the right foot down. Left heel back and down. Right hip back. Left hip slightly rolls down for most of us. And again, if you don't have blocks or if this is too much, you can bend the knee. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, bend the right knee. High lunge as the arms sweep overhead. And a little reversing here. Right arm reaches for the back. Left arm to the front. Gazes out over that front leg, thumb. Reach, find space. Press the fingertips apart. Left arm to the sky, right arm towards the earth or to the outside of the left leg. Keep the left hamstring lifted. And you can use that right hand here if you have the thigh to pick it up, but keep the hips moving to the earth. Both hands find the floor. Downward facing dog. Inhale, plank. Exhale, lower to the earth. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, lower. Curl the toes under. Lift the knees, plank. Downward facing dog. Sweep the right leg to the sky. Knee to nose. And take the right knee to the back of the right wrist as you take the left heel to the left side of the mat. Settle your hips to the earth. Pigeon. Stay upright for your pigeon today. See if you can find a good stretch. And for most of us, that's going to mean the foot is back by the hip. If it's in your practice, you can take that front leg parallel to the earth. For me, that rotates my hips to the side. I'm not actually getting anything more out of that. So I'm going to take my foot back just a little bit so that both hip pointers face forward. Shoulders roll back. Find a little back bend here. Heart forward and expressing. Walk your hands in front of your shin and pause. See that your right hand, I'm not mirroring now, so I might look backwards. See that your right hand is in front of your right knee, at least a good foot or so. Sweep your left hand back towards your left heel and reach back. Send that left shoulder as far to the right as it'll go without opening up the hips. Keep the hips facing down. Fingertips reach for the back foot. And then sweep that left hand under the right shoulder. Thread the needle in pigeon. Come down as much as your body will allow. You can stay here, or you can bring your right palm to cover your left. Begin to press the back of the left hand into the earth and sweep the right hand up to the sky and move it as far to the left as you can without the hips lifting. So keep the top of that, or the front of that left leg pressing down into the mat to support you. And on an exhale, right palm covers left and returns where it started. Left hand sweeps back for the left foot. Bend the left knee and reach the right hand for the left foot. If you stay there, you stay there. Notice my hips lift. That's okay. In fact, that's fantastic. You're going to find a lot of action in that movement. If you can find that back foot, you can pull that left foot to the outside of the left hip. You can use the ankle, or you can take an overhead grip, or if it's available, you can slide that left foot into the arm or the elbow of the left hand. Open up that right thigh, press it into the earth, and reach the right hand for the front of the room. You can stay there, or if the back foot is in the elbow, you can reach the right hand behind the head and find the left for mermaid. If you're in mermaid, right elbow reaches for the sky as the right hip opens. Lift the hips. Hands find the earth. Soft releasing of that back foot. And fold. Find a little resting pigeon. Back to your hands and take the arms a little bit wider than your shoulders. Grip the earth, curl the left toes beneath you. Bend your elbows so you're in a wide push-up position. Press the earth away as you step to a push-up to plank. Wide arms for this downward dog. Inhale forward to plank. Little push-up, downward facing dog. Sweep the left leg to the sky and take the left knee forward. Right foot moves towards the right as you lower the hips for pigeon. And set up for your version of pigeon here, whatever that is for your body. And again, if the heel comes way back towards the hip, awesome. Use the top of your foot to support you. If your foot's way forward, use the outer edge of the foot to support you. And just find that medium distance if you need to. Hips face forward. And find a little back bend. Head lifts, tailbone lightly moves away from the heels. Shoulders back, but not hugging together. Moving apart, but away from the front line of the body. Left hand about 8 inches to a foot in front of the left knee. Right arm sweeps back towards the right foot and reach. Open up that left side of the body. Externally rotate the hand. And as you grip the earth, you can rotate that whole arm to help you open. Right arm extends back, gazes at the right thumb. And then sweep the right hand underneath the left armpit, thread the needle. And again, The left palm comes to cover the right. Press the back of the right hand to the earth as you open it up. Don't let the hips roll away. Keep the hips square to the earth. Take that left hand as far to the right as it'll go. Let the shoulders open, but the hips stay facing forward. Left palm covers right, and then returns where it started. Right hand sweeps back towards right foot. And reach externally, rotate that left shoulder, open it up, heart expressing forward. Let that gratitude for your body shine. Bend your right knee and reach towards the foot. And if the hips lift, great. Let the legs work. And you can stay right here. This can be your pose. Everything from here is optional to your body. Do what you can do. Do all of what you can do. If it's available, find the ankle or find the foot. Open up that left hip. Pull the right foot towards the outside of the right hip. You can take the overhand grip. You can grip the ankle, or you can slide the foot into the elbow. Wherever you're at, if it's available, reach that left arm forward. Maybe you find the bind from Mermaid. Lift the hips, press that back leg to the earth, press that front leg to the earth, and then left hand finds the mat. Softly release the back leg. Right hand finds the earth. Walk the body forward. Sleeping pigeon. Instead of coming all the way back up through plank, we're just going to roll to our side. Come on up. Find a cross-legged seat. Place one hand over the heart and the other hand on top. Feel the beating of your heart. Know that that beating heart is uniquely yours. Even though every other creature, every other mammal, animal on this earth has a beating heart. What you feel is uniquely you. Use that to nourish that seed of gratitude. And yogi's choice. You can stay here and you can meditate on the wonderful beating of your heart. And offer love to your seed of gratitude, to let it sprout and to grow. Or you can come all the way to the earth and set the body up for Shavasana. If you're coming down to the earth, you can always offer your glutes a little bit of a massage, just like we did at the beginning of practice. You can use the knuckles on the back of your hand. You can use your ball if you have one. Or you can simply extend the legs. Roll the shoulders beneath you. And draw your awareness to your breath.
softly deepen your breath. Begin to find some movement from your fingers and your toes. Any other slow and subtle movement that your body would like right now. If you want to stretch your arms overhead, whatever is going to feel good. And when you're ready, hug in towards your heart and roll to your side and pause there. Stay in a restful state for a moment longer. I was reminded of a quote this morning, and it's funny, the way it's written when it's quoted is different than when I hear samples of it from the movie where it was made, the book the quote comes from. At the start of the quote, in any sample, any audio I've heard of it, it always includes the part that says, "Are you lost?" And there's a pause before it goes into the quote, and I feel that it's relevant because many of us do feel lost. Maybe not right now, but sometimes. The quote is, as written, is this: because we don't know when we will die, we get to think of life as an inexhaustible well. Yet everything only happens a certain number of times, and a very small number of times, really. How many more times will you remember a certain afternoon of your childhood? Some afternoon that is so deeply a part of your being that you can't even conceive of your life without it. Perhaps 4 or 5 times more. Perhaps not even that. How many more times will you watch the full moon rise? Perhaps 20. And yet it all seems so limitless. So I invite you, as you continue with your day, to approach every single thing that happens to you today as though it were the only time you would ever experience it. Give it all of your attention. Really be there, be present for that moment, knowing that once it passes, it's gone into the stream of your life forever. Cherish it. Slowly return to your seat. Palms together at the heart. Bow your head. And offer that level of experience to the beating of your heart. Thank you, yogis. It is always an honor to take the seat of the teacher for you. I hope you enjoyed your practice today. Aloha. May the words of peace run through your mind, well within your heart, and be ushered ever forth